Wagwan is your humble host. Hey, right back at you. Like part one was so good, I had to come back and hit it again with a part two. So, without further ado, my man's in them, Professor Griff, Nick Cannon. They both got some things to say. I have some things to say. And then the spirit of the universe is going to take us home. Locker room conversation. Let's get it. Grab your shoulder pads and your helmet, and let's get this work. Let's go.
Once that started happening, that's when we said earlier, they waking up, man. We cannot allow that to happen.
And we see that it actually.
But guess who? I don't mean to cut you off, but
Yeah.
guess who is behind the people that's saying that? They call themselves the Illuminati. We didn't call them that. The
Really?
holders of the light.
Really?
The light
still
bearers.
to this day?
Still to this day, they consider themselves the light bearers. But now they hide it
right.
in different organizations and fraternities and sororities and groups and secret societies.
Because I feel like there's, like, even Trump and this government in America, and we talk about, like, I consider those people the elite. Those are those top 3% or even that top 1%. But I'm not even sure if those are the people, this government, this Americanized government, are those same people that we're speaking of.
No, they're not.
And it's just for the clarity. That's what that's what I want to put out
there.
No,
they flunkies.
Yeah,
they pawns on the chess game.
So,
yeah.
And like, can we give these people another name? Because even when I feel like we talk about the Illuminati and like again, like,
okay, let's demystify it then.
Yeah, like, let's really break it down, because I feel like that's where we get it becomes the boogeyman when we talk about, and even like when we talk about these meetings, like the Bilderberg Group, which is a meeting that, you know, goes on in Europe once a year with the most powerful people in the world, the most powerful people in media, presidents, kings, queens, Queen Elizabeth be there. These are the richest people. These are the elite. They actually meet on world affairs, and where the Bilderberg Group, they housed it and were like, "Ooh, we want to bring power."
Let me highlight when the whole COVID-19 happened, when they had that whole thing. You did not think that them people didn't meet way before then? Of course they did. They met. They met in Colorado. Okay? So when you look at those that place themselves in these type of high positions, right? And don't think nothing ain't gonna happen, of course. Everything that they do is strategically planned. Now we got what you call the government shutdown. People's SNAP, EBT getting put on hold, government shutdown. This wasn't no coincidence. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And I know I did some videos highlighting some things of how individuals are crashing out. It still doesn't take away from the point that I'm making. It still doesn't take away from doing your research instead of listening to people, instead of listening to social media or the news media. You have to delve deep, you know? That's the only way you're going to find some truth. That's the only way you're going to see things for what they really are, okay? So let's just highlight that. And as people begin to chime in, put a number 1 in the chat so I know you're feeling me. And subscribe, like, comment, and share. Let's go.
Powerful people together to show how we can make the world a better place and have this meeting. That's what they say.
That's what they say.
But ultimately, they're saying, what messaging?
Domination and world control
are we putting out there? And then when we go and we speak about the New World Order, I have this question for you. Why is the New World Order a one world government, domination world. Why is that so dangerous? Why is that a bad thing? Why isn't that a good thing? Why can't we subscribe to say, oh, we just want everyone to come together. We want everyone to be, we want the nations to unite. We want a united nation. Why is that dangerous?
I had the pleasure of having some brief conversations the other night in Brooklyn, New York, at the Barclays Center, behind stage with Erykah Badu. She did a video, window seat.
Right.
Then she did a couple other videos where she literally was.
I want individuals, if you have not seen Erykah Badu's video window seat, pull it up on YouTube, watch that video. And you'll see you got to look past what you see. Her stripping down, stripping naked. It comes to the point where once you've sold your soul and you want nothing to do with that other side, you want out of it, you're going to strip yourself of that. Then there's the blue blood. You really have to pay attention to the video and the message behind the video. I mean, Michael Jackson said it best. They don't really care about us. Who's they? Those that study will know who they is. They is the one. We're going to shut the government down and we're going to take away your EBT and your SNAP. And the cold part about it is you got the holidays right around the corner. They don't really care about us. You have to see things that are being done, that are being said in plain eyesight. This is the time where you would want people to come together. You would want other races to join forces. Because as I said in part one, the other side don't care what color you are, who you are, what you have. Once you sold your soul and it's time to collect, it's time to collect. We don't care about all that other shit. What you willing to do to pay what you owe? How far are you willing to go in order to pay what you owe? In order to place yourself in a position, a higher position, so that you can move up the ladder. What are you willing to do?
Walking through and disrobing.
Right.
And,
where JFK was
assassinated. Right. And gunshots rang out and she bled blue blood. See where I'm going with this?
See where you're going. The blue bloods.
The blue bloods. So regardless of what we called them.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
And let's see if we're going to go to blue blood, going back to understanding a blue blood is a European person because they don't have pigment in their skin that you can see their blue veins.
Exactly. And blood is blue until oxygen, the air hit it, and it turns red.
Right.
Democrat, Republican Party.
Red
you see,
and
it's
blue,
not
Bloods and Crips.
Exactly. They set that kind of thing, Hegelian dialectic principle.
Yeah.
The opposing forces controlled by the same people.
Right. So then let's go to what it really is then. When we talk about the power of melanated people, when we talk about who we really are as guys and understanding that our melanin is so powerful and it connects us in a way that the reason why they fear black, the reason why they fear is because the lack that they have of it. So then when you see what, Dr. Francis C. Welsing talked about is that fear and that
genetic annihilation,
that deficiency of when you have a person that has the lack of pigment, the lack of melanin.
When I've spoken with Dr. Sebi, because him and my doctor, Michael Allen, were like good friends. But when I spoke with Dr. Sebi said to me, stay close to the Berry family. Berry family? What do you mean Berry family? Cranberries, strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, blackberries, and so forth, because the toxins, it's good for your T blood cells. Get a lot of sunlight. Take black seed oil. These are the things you do for your skin. He said, Big Truck, a large number of individuals don't know this stuff. But if you take care of your body will take care of you. I'm like, oh, okay. So a lot of the things that he's given me to take, turmeric, MSM powder, good for inflammation. Maca, ashwagandha. There's a few others that I take daily. And I'm going to tell you something. I feel great. I move differently. You say, why not share this with the people? Because sometimes the people don't know. Then you're dieting. Be careful of the things that you eat. And if you're going to eat, portion it out. Where you're eating small meals, not just big meal after big meal after big meal. And if you're going to have one of those days where you eat a big meal, make sure you detox your body so you flush out what you ate. Like, oh, okay. So the point that I'm making is when it comes to us, male and female Hebrews, we have to know this stuff. We have to educate each other. Men and women sitting down, having conversations, educating one another on this stuff. It's very important, especially in the times we living in. Let's go.
Right.
That they know that they will be annihilated. So therefore, however they got the power, they have the lack of compassion. That melanin comes with compassion. Melanin comes with soul, that we call it soul. We soul brothers and sisters. That's the melanin that connects us.
Right.
So the people that don't have it are a little, and I'm gonna say this carefully, are a little less. And where the term actually comes from, because I'm bringing it all the way back around to Minister Farrakhan, to where they may not have the compassion or the when they were sent to the mountains of Caucasus, when they didn't have the power of the sun, that the sun then started to deteriorate them. So then they're acting out of fear. They're acting out of low self-esteem. They're acting out of a deficiency. So therefore, the only way that they can act is evil. The only way they have to rob, steal, rape, kill, and
fight or flight.
In order to survive.
Exactly.
So then these people who didn't have what we had, and when I say we, I speak of the melanated people.
Right.
They had to be savages. They had to be barbaric. Because they're in these Nordic mountains, they're in these rough torrential environments, so they're acting as animals.
Right.
So they're the ones that are actually closer to animals. They're the ones that are actually the true savages. And then they built up such this I don't want to say warrior, but they built up such this conquering barbaric mentality that they're coming out of Europe. They then said, in order for us to survive, we have to take what's not ours. And then they went into the land that actually where we are originated. And instead of trying to make friends, they said, we want what you got. Because there's this mentality of whether it's the Caesars or even that we have to conquer.
Right.
So I say all that to say the context. And when we speak of whether it's Jewish people, white people, Europeans, the Illuminati, they were doing that as survival tactics to stay on this planet.
Right, because
we never had to do that.
Right, because they've learned when they circumnavigated the globe and they ran into these islands and these places, and we were already there to greet them.
Right. with open arms.
with open arms, teaching them, but then
But
when
they were deficient.
they were deficient, so they wanted to get what they thought we had, and we did have it. So the rape took place of the woman. The theft took place of the natural resources.
And then that's when their disease, that's
Exactly.
where their mentality, because I'm trying to get to that place of how they were able to get control over the gods. How
Right,
they were
right.
able to get control.
Okay.
But also, it's a thing of having control over man and woman. How it was easier for them to manipulate woman. Because might I remind you, it was a point where they couldn't get to man. Because man was too stubborn. See, man knew better. So let's get the woman, because the woman is connected to the man. The black woman is connected to the black man. So if we can get her, if we can manipulate her, if we can control her, then we got him. It's almost like killing it with two birds and one stone. But this is when, again, people got to wake up. And if the people are not willing to wake up and understand, overstand, then you lost.
Okay, so
over the
once they
original people.
learned that, though, and now they raped and impregnated, left and came back, and they saw the child lighter, they said, wow, that's when they learned
is how we-
genetics, genetic annihilation. So now you have to set up a system
Okay.
of white supremacy to control that.
Right.
So now we have 13 families here, Illuminati that's manipulating and controlling, subgroups. Now we got to set up organizations.
Coming out of Europe.
You understand what I'm saying? And for that same system, now you're talking about survival, what you just laid out. Now it's fight or flight. Now we have to set up these systems in order to survive.
Right.
But listen, not just survive to get some damn some hamburger buns and some cheese. I'm talking about on a genetic level.
On the genetic, because they will, and that's even from the white nationalists to the white supremacy mentalities to Donald Trump himself wanting to build walls.
Right.
They're trying to keep their what they consider purity. What
Exactly, on a subconscious
trying to stay
level.
alive.
Because sometimes
Because-
they don't know why they acting out.
It's just been proven. It was National Geographic just put it out by 2050.
Uh-huh.
Every person will be a person of color.
In a minute.
They saying that's as soon
Okay.
as 2050.
So let me ask you something. So what is the subconsciousness saying? What's the fear? The subconscious said, I got to survive.
right.
What do I have to do?
That's what it's been from the beginning with the
Okay, how do you do that
non-melanated
now?
people.
How do you do that and show love? I got to take natural resources because I may not be here in a minute. I got to bomb these people back to the Stone Age because I'm not going to be here in a minute because I got to be
That's
able to
where war
dominate.
was created.
Exactly, and control and dominate people.
Okay.
I have to survive on this planet.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
And as you call it, this is a Griff quote right here. Life is living in fear of extinction.
Right. So, and that's what operating on a subconscious level. So they fear. So Dr. Francis Cress Welsing says, when you show up, they view a grown, 6 foot tall, 230-pound black man the same as they do a 4-year-old.
Yep.
Because in us is the genetic material to annihilate them.
Ooh, and that it's their fear of God.
It's their fear.
It's their fear of God.
Exactly.
And then for
So when it comes down to it, it comes down to fear. Once you understand that, ain't nothing no one can tell you. Ain't nothing no one can do to you. Because now you're not in fear. You don't live in fear. Because now you know who you are and whose you are. And you've embraced that. Now you move in a certain way like you've never moved before. And that's one of the and of course, we highlight many things. But it always go back to what I said before. Know who you are and whose you are, Hebrew. you are a Hebrew Jew, and that's the way that it is. It's in the Torah. The Torah doesn't lie when they talk about Elohim's people. You see? So many of our people are lost. So many of our people don't want to understand what is. Let's continue.
Everybody, because I'm bringing it back in context again, because just so you know, we keep referencing, you know, the great Dr. Francis Cress Wesleyan. Get that book, The ISIS Papers. If you haven't, it's essential. And in Griff's book first, get the Warrior's Tapestry. He says that book, as well as so many others, that everything that we're talking about, like it has been kept secrets, but it's not a secret. These books are out there for you to actually read upon, and they're all facts. Nothing. That's where I just wanted to get to. I didn't want to keep creating this boogeyman of they or the.
You have
Illuminati.
to demystify who these people are.
We got to get to when we talk about who the original man is.
Right.
Is the original melanated man coming from with the place that we call Africa, and which I always find this so amazing and compelling, that Africa was named Africa by the Europeans, and Europe was named Europe by the Africans.
Ain't that something? I had a conversation with one of the lost boys from the Sudan, and I asked him, "Do you consider yourself African?" He's like, "No."
Yeah.
They're tribal.
Yeah.
You take pride in your tribe.
And I just came back from Uganda, and it's so, when you look at it, they don't say, "Hey, I'm African."
Exactly, they don't. Right.
No, I'm from Uganda, or I'm from my family. They don't. We call it Africa, like our African American.
Right. Now hold on 1 second. Now let's look at America.
Right.
We say, well, "Where you from?" I'm from Detroit, man.
Yeah.
We don't say we're Americans.
Yeah.
See, it's the same dynamic.
And especially when you're I'm from Long Island. I'm from this street. I'm from this exit. I'm from Brooklyn.
Exactly,
man. You say your whole address.
I'm from this block.
Yeah, and then on the West Coast,
Same thing with the brothers in Africa.
Southeast San Diego, over there, up through the, like from such and such projects.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Same thing with the brothers in Africa. They don't identify with the whole idea that the place was called Africa.
Yeah, they tell you they tribe.
It was more tribal, man. And right now, we need to find our tribe.
That's all.
And I agree. I totally agree. A lot more people need to find their tribe, your lineage, where you come from. You feel me? There's so many of our people lost. Okay? And as I continue to expound on this, you know, when we go back, even when we trace it back to who we are and whose we are, and knowing that we the Hebrew Jews, knowing that the Torah speaks of us, knowing that the different parts of the land is talking about Africa. There's a thing where we know a place we can call home, but how many is ready to receive the very thing that they call home? Your tribe, your lineage, a place where you know where you can go and you can rest. See? And when you understand truth, and that's another thing, be careful of who is standing on that pulpit teaching the people. Because a real one is going to bring truth home. A real one is going to teach truth. You know? So many individuals in this day and age are living a lie. And Elohim is tied. And Elohim is about to strike. That's why he's shutting a lot of things down. It's no coincidence that the government and all this stuff is shutting down. Elohim know what he's doing. The first shall be last and the last shall be first. Y'all heard about Jacob's trouble. Yeah, I'm bringing it. Yeah, I'm going there. Because now you seeing why Elohim is about to do what he gonna do. And it's about to get real muddy. But he said, those in whom I chose. Those in whom I chose, I will protect you. But you will see the punishment that's going to be unleashed on those that have rejected me and believed the lie. In parentheses, have sold their soul to the things of this world. And this is who you see crashing out on social media. Why is it a certain type of people crashing out on social media in regarding this? Okay, I'm gonna let that marinate. Let's continue to feast.
It is the lost tribes.
Exactly.
And it goes back, and it goes all the way back to where you were not being anti-Semitic, because that's impossible. You were just speaking the truth and talking about your community, your tribe, and how others have came and taken from your tribe. So, which I would love to jump and just divert just originally hip hop, and I love how you define hip hop, the higher infinite power healing our people.
Right.
And you where the state of hip hop is today. And you said something so powerful, man. And I want the people to hear this when you said they killed all the bigs and birthed all the littles.
Ooh, yeah.
And if you think about when you say from Big L, Biggie Smalls,
right.
You know what I mean? Even the idea of,
put a number 1 in the chat, like the video, subscribe. I appreciate all the love. As I said in part 1, the real hip hop to me was back in the 90s. Some say the 80s. I was young. I was a little boy. But I remember some because of things I would hear. But hip hop came, and the birth of hip hop, conscious rap. I mean, conscious rap came in the 90s and was hitting real hard. Where when you listen to a beat and you listen to a lyric, it got you all hyped. When you listen to R&B music, they sang it with soul. They sang it with feeling. You felt every verse that R&B singer was singing. And it meant something. I'm talking about, we can go as far as Smokey Robinson, Teddy Pendergrass, man, Luther Vandross, Freddie Jackson, Stephanie Mills, Whitney Houston. The list goes on. Tina Marie. The list goes on. But when you talk about the hip hop like the Big Daddy Kings, the LL Cool J, Audio 2, Biz Markie, Fat Boys, I mean, Eric B. and Rakim, I mean, these were those pioneers that set the tone for their music. Ice-T, Ice Cube, and W.A. I mean, it was a flow. But then when you look at the music industry now and how it has shifted, that's the bad part. That's the sad part. Because now you know what you know. And that good music that was once good back in the 90s is no more. Is no more.
Then we birthed no offense to none of these brothers, but the little Zans, the little Waynes, who is my brother.
The little and the young ones.
The
yeah.
young,
Everybody
but
was young.
just that
Everybody was
mentality
little, right.
of we used to want to call ourselves big this, and now you want to be little pump, little this.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Is that spiritual warfare?
Ooh, that's psychic and spiritual warfare, man. That's that psychological war. See,
and then I love the way you break this. These are textbooks, people. Get this from Griff. Like, he got the pictures on every page, and he breaks all the symbolism down, and that's what I'm saying. That this what we just said is all in here of
right.
Of
So
breaking.
the whole idea of the warfare that they're waging against us is on a psychological level. So psychology is not the study of the mind. Psyche in ancient Kemet is the soul.
The soul.
So they waging a hidden covert war on the souls of black folks.
Wow. Which goes back is where our melanin is.
And the whole
Our
idea,
carbon.
right, the whole idea of killing off the bigs and producing the littles, that is part of it.
Right.
What better way to do that?
Yeah.
Now you got a whole generation of MCs, rappers coming up. Little this one, young that one.
Right.
As though you will never grow up and grow old and become a man.
You're gonna be little forever.
You're gonna be little for the rest of your life. So you come on now on television shows sucking a pacifier in the baby bottle. You understand what I'm saying? And we have to understand that
in a
particular
skirt or a dress.
and they
right?
forgot that sister exactly.
Right.
They forgot that Sister Soldier said we are at war. We're at war for the hearts and minds of our people, man. We
Not just our people, but at wars with with ourselves. Not just at war with our peoples, but at war with ourselves. You lost your identity. Your identity was taken from you. Now you have to take your identity back. And sometimes you're going to have to fight between tooth and nails to get your identity back. But once you've gotten your identity back, ain't nothing no one can do to stop you. No one can tell you nothing. You see? No, you can't be controlled. You can't be manipulated. Because now you know self. Now you know whose you are and who you are. Now you know how to operate. Now you know how to move in ways you've never moved before. When people try to knock you off your block, you will not be moved. You will not be shaken. You feel me?
have to understand that, man.
Right. And one thing I want to talk to again, I'm gonna play the advocate of the opposing advocate, as we call it, because I actually I dealt with this personally on a personal level, and I would love to have some discourse with you about the emasculation of the black man,
right?
Specifically in the media. And the only reason why I feel like this is a good place to go, because from the big to the little conversation, because of now is the male to the female. Now we got everything now, which is ridiculous. To we got Snapchat filters turning our brothers into good. I done seen some of the most gangster people I know put this Snapchat filter on to see what they would look like as a woman, to where like all the way to like, man, if there was a wig and some makeup sitting right there, take the digital aspect out of.
You got some of the hardest individuals that's acting so feminine. You got some of the hardest gangsters. You got some of the hardest cats. Behind closed doors, they so feminine. But outside the four walls of their home, they masculine. They tough and rough. It's I don't know what. Where did that come from? The hardest MC, the hardest person, wearing a dress, wearing fingernails, eyelashes, walking with a little switch. But in the streets, you hard. To the homies, you about that. Okay. Same thing if we flipped it. Got that woman acting so damn masculine. It's pathetic. Her excuse is, we had to be this way. No, you chose to be that way. A woman is supposed to be feminine, delicate, sweet, sexy. A man is supposed to be masculine. What's wrong? That's a problem.
Right. So if there was a wig and some makeup right there, yo, Grip, put this on, man, so I see what you look like.
Exactly.
Would you do that then? But we'll do that with our phones and our screens, and we'll send it and we'll post it for the likes.
Forever.
So say that, though. In media, and I salute my brother Dave Chappelle and so many other. We've all heard the famous story where he said Hollywood tried, there was a dress hanging in his and
trailer,
tried to put him on, and some of the brothers that I look up to and will forever look up to, from Eddie Murphy to Martin Lawrence to all of these people, have to in entertainment put on the dress, and a lot of people say they're selling their soul, and I'll go all the way back to my own personal story as a kid growing up on Nickelodeon. And not seeing any harm in it at the time in the 90s. Did a skit where I dressed up as a girl. I mean, we in the Inconvenience Store and we ghetto girls. And they wouldn't, the skit on Nickelodeon, they wouldn't even allow something like that to air today because we ghetto.
But see, that was the thing of emasculating the black man. Putting him in a dress. Making him humiliate himself. Well, how far are you willing to go? What you willing to do? If that same route is taken in the entertainment industry, you can imagine what happens in the sports industry. How far are you willing to go? What are you willing to do? That's why I never signed an NFL contract. I'll be damned. Because I know, and I'm not selling out for no one. When you know what you know, you're going to move differently. Versus an individual that does not know and makes a decision, makes a choice that can destroy his future, his or her future, all because you didn't know, but because you wanted it so bad and you were willing to do anything to get it. Y'all know how Satan is. Y'all know how Satan works. Hashatan. He'll pepper it up, make it look good. And the moment you attach yourself to it, now you sitting there like, what have I done? Hashatan will look dead at you and say, I didn't make you do it. You chose to do it. I just put it in front of you.
With the nails, and we really, all I'm doing is imitating Martin Lawrence and Jamie Foxx, what they did with Shanae and Wanda, and all they were doing imitating Flip Wilson, what he did with Geraldine, and what our strong brother Richard
Tyler
Pryor
Perry,
was doing in This Way Is Up, and
Tyler
classic
Perry.
movies and things that we seen who we consider the greats do coming before us. But we're not seeing that psychological warfare of, they want to, which, Dr. Francis talks about, is when we see these images because there's a lack of fathers already, there's a
Right.
lack of male figures, and we understand the black woman is the ultimate creator, but when we are emasculated and we don't know how to be men, and we think it's a joke and we think it's funny, and I see it like now. I don't regret anything in my life, but when I see the 18-year-old version of me prancing around for the joke in a dress, in a wig, I'm like, damn.
Right.
Like, was that me just being funny? Or
But peep game. Peep game, no. When a masculine man enters the room, he is treated totally different than a feminine man who walks in the room. I'm going to give it to you one more again. A masculine man is treated differently than a feminine man who walks in the building. When a masculine man walks into a building, walks into a room, it's that energy, it's that spirit, it's that aura that will let you know that is a man. He stands 10 toes down. He stands on business, sit on chrome. Versus when a feminine man walks into a room, you will know he's feminine. There are some traits that will give you an indication. Just like when a feminine woman walks in the room, when a feminine woman walks in the room, she has style and grace. What is a feminine woman? Well, look at Felicia Rashad. That's one. That's an example. When you look at Miss Felicia Rashad, and when she walks into a room, the style and grace, her aura, her spirit, you will know who she is by the fruit that she carries. Versus a masculine woman that walks in a room. Come on now. I'm giving you some. This is some game for your Bluetooth.
me thinking, yo, this is funny,
Right.
where, I'm as heterosexual as it
Okay.
gets, but the messaging that I was putting out
Right.
there, and then not that there's any, as to each his own, what you do in your bedroom in the dark at night,
Right,
that's
right,
your
right.
business. But to me, as I know, was I used as a pawn, as a young boy to make people, I'm thinking I'm making people laugh, but was there a psychological warfare?
All right, but let me ask you something. Did the laughter die down? Did you grow up?
I definitely grew up.
Now, what would this Nick Cannon say to that one? Bro, look at me though, bro. I want you to-
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying,
So
because
what would this Nick Cannon say to that one now?
the information that I just said, I would give that, but I would
Exactly.
still say make your own
But
choice.
Right, you know the price that you're gonna pay for that though now. 'Cause
Right.
You woke up.
Right.
And now you gotta talk and speak to that young brother that put on the dress.
on the
now.
dress.
So when I laid it out though.
But I wouldn't judge that one. I wouldn't tell.
Right. We don't have to judge.
I would give him the information.
This is life lessons.
I would give him the ISIS papers.
Right.
I didn't read the ISIS papers when I was 18. I didn't
Right.
understand that there was a greater mission to
Right.
to destroy us.
Right.
I thought I was just there to make them laugh. But even if for someone who was,
That's like saying when I'm a child, I played with toys. I played with my toys. I played with certain games. I did certain things. But as I got older, I had to put away my toys. I had to put away those childish things. Okay? Sometimes we thinking we doing the right thing, but it's actually the wrong thing because no one has never told us. No one has never sat us down and have a conversation with us. One thing I can say about my dad would sit us down and my dad would share with us things. me, my brother, my sisters. He would sit all four of us down and share with us things. That's why we know the things that we know. We overstand the things that we overstand. You see, mistakes will be made, of course. But it's how you overcome those mistakes. You see? Let's continue.
Awakened like a Richard Pryor.
Right.
Still would say, yo, there's nothing off limits when it comes to entertainment. Like you said, you got to get their attention first. And you know, whether it's putting on a dress, whether it's calling yourself little this, whether it's making a song about shaking that ass, like to when we talk about brothers like, you know, Nipsey and his gang bang affiliation and its terminology that may not be helpful on the surface, but when you see the brother's beautiful spirit, when you know my ultimate mission, when you know that ultimately these are brothers that are trying to help the community, but we got to get their attention first.
Right. I got a brother, a friend of mine, Black Dot. He wrote a book called Hip Hop Decoded.
Okay.
He said in the book that they take the lowest essence of our culture and give it maximum exposure. You understand? Black Dot said they take the lowest essence of our culture and give it maximum exposure.
Shout out to my man Black Dot. Very powerful brother. Actually, I'm going to pull a couple of his videos and I'm going to do a reaction to it. And we're going to do a live stream tomorrow with Black Dot. I'm telling you, brother's powerful. Some of the brothers that I study with, and this is one of the brothers I study with, Professor Griff, you know, when you know what you know, when you start understanding and breaking this thing down, it begins to make sense that did not make sense before. When we talk about this industry, this entertainment industry, when we talk about the sports industry, when we talk about everyday life, when you start breaking things down biblically, when you start having the translations, when you start having the overstanding, when you open up your mind, when you change the way you think, when you change the way you move. You see, I tell people, I don't chase bags. I'm in a new era. I chase purpose. When you chase purpose, everything thereof is going to fall right in place, including that bag. I chase purpose. I make sure I keep peace around me. When you live your life in peace, it's a different feeling. You see things clear. You sleep better at night. Let's continue.
So that's why we glorify our strip clubs. That's why we glorify our gang
and it's
banging.
over the top for many reasons. And you mentioned one, for the laugh.
Right.
Now it's for the bag.
Right.
Now it could be for some other reasons.
Right.
I want to buy my mama a house, and we give it all the excuses and the reasons. At the same time, the ultimate agenda is taking place. We're falling right into it.
Right.
The ultimate
but it's
plan.
always been that, because that's the reason. Like, I wanted you to say that again, because I want to go all the way back to Step and Fetch It. I want to go all the way back to, you know.
But if you went back there, some of them brothers didn't have a choice, so to speak.
Right.
Because of the degree of poverty.
But do we still have the choice now? Does NBA Youngboy, does Kodak Black, they don't have a choice, but because they're living their truth. All they saying is, this is all I know. So
on all of my material, I put my phone number out there and I put it out freely. They have a choice, bro, because they could easily call me and say, because now
but before, they don't know Professor Griff. They all they know is the drug dealer and they community.
Okay.
They all because you, again, as much as we want to say we have access to all of this, the average 14, 15-year-old dude that grow up in Florida, that grow up in Louisiana, all they know is the niggas around them.
Exactly.
They don't know how, man, I don't know how to work them computers. You know how many times I heard that?
Yeah, I know,
man, I don't know that shit. Hey, dog, this all I know. I know I got my 40 on my hip. I know I'm going to slang these packs.
Right.
But then when you start dealing with an individual that comes from that, see, I came from the streets. So I know how to identify and relate to one from the streets, one from the hood. You see? So if you're out there and you interacting and you are active in your community, you got to be active in your community. That's why I have much love and respect for Black menswear when they do the Black Men Flash Mob. And I've highlighted that on some of my content, showing Black men in their suits with the youth in their suits doing things in the community. This is what we need to see more of. You feel me? Instead of all the bad shit, we need to start seeing the good shit and highlighting that. Because there's a lot of individuals out there that do good in the community that does not get reported, that does not get highlighted. But when it comes to all the negatives, that gets all the damn attention. We got to shift that. We got to shift that, people. For real, for real.
I know I'm gonna fuck some bitches later on.
Yeah, that's the mentality.
That's
exactly.
until you crack one of these open, until you can get the Warriors tapestry.
That's why I put the book together the way I put it together, to speak to that dude.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And
but we gotta speak their language. That's why I feel like Nipsey Hussle was so important for us, because everybody, it's the Nipsey bandwagon now. But when you can see, and that's why Tupac, and that's why even PE was so important, because we're like, oh, them is cats that grew up just like me.
Right.
They embracing the thug life. They embracing being a 60s Crip. They embracing being neighborhood nip. Like even, and I come from the other aspect of it. I came in and like, I don't want people to I don't want to glorify where I came from, where I came from. When you first heard Nick Cannon, like, that's the kid from Nickelodeon.
The little guy,
that's the kid from America's Got Talent that's always smiling.
Yeah.
You don't know that I come from what I come from, because I never wanted to glorify, because there's entry points from every
Exactly.
So I have no problem being able to sit there and be like, oh, he's the safe one, because I still know my truth. I still know my purpose.
Right.
So in saying that, I can't, just the way I don't expect people to judge me from.
I can identify with that. Knowing where you came from and your background. Most don't know I grew up in the hood. Most don't know at 14 I was homeless, sleeping in abandoned buildings, eating out of garbage cans, stealing tips off of tables. I learned my game from a pimp and a prostitute. Don't know. I was abused. I was neglected. I was beaten. Most don't know. I was locked up in my room. Most don't know. But see, that was a childhood side, because of things that I went through that I didn't cause those things to happen. Okay? But because my mother didn't know how to be a mother, let's highlight it. So these were things that I went through, that I was stuck with. So of course, a lot of things developed in me that I didn't know how to release. So therefore, I began to carry those things. And each and every time, at points in my life, these things will show up, because something will happen and they will show up. We don't never control the times that our past will show up. They just show up. But we have to deal with that. I didn't know how to deal with that. I mean, I'm child neglect. I'm getting beaten by my mother. Homeless in the streets. I didn't know how to deal with that. Was told I was never going to be nothing. I didn't know how to deal with that at that time. But nobody will never know. Because when you do the work on yourself and you heal, you see, the only way an individual will know is if I share. You see, there's an old saying, how a man treats his mother is how he would treat his woman. To me, that's a crock of baloney. How a man treats his Elohim is how he will treat a woman. Because not everybody comes from a good household. But it does come down to a choice. What type of choice are you willing to make that's going to benefit you? Now, I done made amends with my mother. Okay? But here's the thing. The art of forgiveness is very, very powerful and very, very important. So how people see you now, just as people see Nick Cannon now. Like, damn, the way I was back then. I used to be ghetto-fied hood nigga and all and so forth. I don't need to allow those things to make me. I just chose better. I chose to be better. It feels good to have a peaceful night's sleep and to wake up refreshed. I always have the best day of my life because that's a choice. I choose to live and enjoy everyday life because it's a choice. Let's continue.
What they may think of me when I sit down and have a conversation with Kodak Black, that's not a dumb brother. Kodak Black is intelligent.
Right.
What NBA YoungBoy is intelligent. Now, they may be making some choices we may not agree with.
Right. At the age that they are.
Right. Like I said, at 18, I was on TV dressed in a dress.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you know why? Because 2 years before that, I was trying to be a gangbanger in the hood. And 2 years before that, I grew up in projects. And you know what I mean? So I'm like,
he said this gangbanging shit ain't working out.
Yeah, it ain't working out. Let me square up. You know what I mean? And the people, you know what I mean?
I hear you.
And so to say that, I see every aspect of it. So I think as what we do, we judge each other instead of informing each other.
Right. Well, we judge one another by the categories that they fit us in.
Right.
If we was to pick our own categories,
right?
You and I greeted one another as gods,
right?
How many times they gonna let that go out on the air? How many times they gonna put that in a movie? How many times they gonna put that in the educational department?
Right.
And how many times they gonna rewrite the dictionary and don't write us in as black means despicable, disgusting, evil?
Yeah.
They're gonna rewrite the dictionary.
I got one better. Why is it hard for them to put a black masculine man in a movie? To anyone? Why is it so hard for them to have a masculine black actor and a feminine black woman as a love interest in the movie? Peep game. I'm trying to tell you something. Because that whole image of a black masculine man and a black feminine woman, they know, like we know, that's something powerful. That's something powerful. It's too much like right. When Mel Gibson said he had a dream, and he did the movie Passion of the Christ, they say, yeah, hey, we about that. But instead of it being a black man, why don't we do this over here? Mel Gibson was like, nah, that's not the type of dream he had, vision he had. Because everybody knows Yeshua, Yahweh. That picture that's hanging on everybody's wall in everybody's church house, that's a picture of Caesar Borgia. I gotta give you some history on that. Yeshua is nothing feminine. He's all masculine. Because if you read the book of Revelations, he tells you that in his description.
Dictionary, no.
Black means God. That's what we
Exactly.
put out there.
That needs to be the T-shirt, though.
Yeah.
That needs to be the slogan.
The definition of black is God.
Exactly.
Black means God.
Exactly. So but you see, even if you ask them, that's what they would say.
Right.
Because they worship us in private and in secret. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, and then with the beautiful work that Runoko Rashidi and Ashwa Kwesi and other people are doing, and what's the brother's name? Tariq Nasheed with Hidden Colors.
Right. Yeah, love
And
all of
every
that.
place you go, Eugene Adams with Africans in Asia. When you start unearthing who these people are, the deeper they dig, the blacker it gets.
Okay.
That's the T-shirt, bro.
The deeper they dig,
The deeper it digs, the blacker it gets, bro.
Okay, so let me go here with you then. And I'm going to play for the other side just for a second. When we get to the origin of when we say as deep as we go, and ultimately if it's all about becoming one and understanding who the original man was, and if we all come from the same thing, and the purpose here, our assignment is to love and to have understanding,
Right,
and knowledge supreme, wisdom, and all this understanding ultimately is rooted in love in the core. And if that's our message to spread through the cosmos, why all of this division? Why all this compartmentalization and categorizing each other? If we're the original, if we're where it started, if they want what we have, and ultimately what we have to give is love, why does it matter if one person is Jewish? Why does it matter if one person is Christian? Why does it matter if this person has less melanin in their skin than the other person?
I think the thing that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said that makes them devils is the fact that they've been taught a doctrine, a teaching, coupled with the fact that you and I said they had to survive, so they did the things that they became and who they are. There was a reason why they shot the noses off Abu Ahal, the Sphinx.
Right.
Different people called it different things.
They put it in the back of the museum.
Exactly. There's a reason why they destroyed the woman when they saw the black man and woman side by side in Egypt. There was a reason why they took certain information, stole it, copied it, put their names on it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right. They never wanted that particular information.
Their image of God.
Exactly, to get out.
They never wanted black man to know who he is, black woman to know who she is. You see? It's like, as long as the black man and the black woman can be kept in the dark, look at the division. If you look at now, especially on social media, the first thing that will come to your mind is, do black men really hate black women? Do black women really hate black men? Because when you listen to what's being said, how each other's being treated, it's like, what the blood clot? You see? What's with the division? We are more divided than any other race. Let's highlight that. Large number of women, mainly black women, are the more than any other race on social media, disrespecting themselves and black men. Well, that's every race. What race sticks out to you? Black woman. So when you've identified this and called this out, most will have a problem because you're telling your truth. But this is the type of conversations that are long overdue. This should have already been had. Because I guarantee you, as you begin to get down to the root, now you begin to understand each other. You feel me?
If that image of God got out,
Right.
how would they survive genetically on a planet being the inferior?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
You cannot do what they've done on the planet in such a short period of time, being the inferior.
But why does it all matter? If we're talking about the source, if we're getting to the source of it all, of the original man and the original purpose is to spread love, is to awaken and enlighten everyone. Why does it matter?
There was love in my family. My dad was there, my mom was there, my brother was there, my sister was there. Instinctively, we all knew our roles. I wasn't trying to be my dad.
Right.
My dad's my dad.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
In the human family, who's not comfortable with being themselves?
Right.
We could take a look at it through that lens.
Okay.
Let's
I see where
unpackage
you go.
that now.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I'm comfortable with being myself, then I don't have to say, you're evil, you're wicked. I don't have to write that in my
And
books. I don't have to destroy your
I don't
history.
have to try to borrow and get something
Right.
or steal yours because I'm comfortable with mine.
Exactly. I don't have to say because I'm lighter and whiter, I'm better. I don't have to do all these things. But because I don't feel comfortable in my position,
The idea of supremacy.
the idea of having to survive, I got to come up with the plan.
Okay.
You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
See, now,
So if I'm not comfortable within the grand design, if I don't know my position in the grand design, then
Exactly.
Right.
And the grand design included them.
it did.
It included everyone in love.
Right.
You just got to play your part, man.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
So-
I wasn't trying to be my sister. I didn't
Right.
want to put on the dress and the purse.
So ultimately
the
the-
pocketbook. I
yeah,
didn't. I
right.
wasn't trying to be mom.
Right. So the answer to the question is we're not the ones that are creating the borders and the
No, we're
categories and the
not.
classifications.
No,
we've
we're not.
we've been taught to think that, but ultimately it's their system.
Even though there were different tribes, we didn't carve up the land.
Right.
We didn't. Can't say you-
Tribalism was just more about we are who we
No,
are.
that,
It's
that was
existence.
that was culture.
It's culture.
And
This is
the
what
root
I would-
word.
Larger number of individuals forgot about culture. Large number of individuals are not in that place. But as we begin to see these things for what it is, then we begin to have an understanding. I'm going to let my man and them finish and take us home.
I was born right here. You were born right there. Let's exchange what I got over here.
Exactly.
And therefore, and then if there ever is any conflict, because conflict occurs, we will figure that
Right.
survival of the fittest comes into play.
Right.
And then ultimately, I exist where I exist. You exist where you exist.
Right. And respect that.
Yeah.
And
And that's all I'm asking you to do
Right.
is respect my boundaries. I don't want to come. I don't want to come and take over your land.
Exactly.
We can engage, but I'm from where I'm from, and you're from where you're from.
Right. But there's some things that we have in common that we didn't even have to talk about. Because we didn't outright rape.
Right.
And rob. And
Right.
steal and do these things. If
There's
if a
principles.
couple of your
There's
cows
morality.
came over and destroyed my vegetables, then somebody has to pay for that. So you got to come work this land.
Right.
Some call that slavery. No, it wasn't that. You had to repair my crops that you destroyed.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Someone looked at that and says, well, look, I could take thousands and millions of them
Right.
across the water, brainwash them, and I could build an entire nation for myself.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? You see, that's a child
Right.
not knowing its place in the human family.
Right.
And they're running rampant. Now that the parents done went to sleep and been put to sleep, the children are running the house. And
The
that's
littles.
what we're seeing. The littles.
The littles
are running
are
the
running
house
the
right
house.
now. Exactly. On all levels.
On all levels.
On the cultural level. The root word to culture is cult. Cult is not a bad word.
Come on now.
You understand what I'm saying?
yeah.
So, and then when you look at occult, just means hidden.
Right. Right.
If you didn't put on the turban and whatever, they
Right.
don't know what culture you from.
Right. Right.
But you see how most will try to take certain words and certain phrases and make it bad when it's not. How some try to make something that is when it's not.
If you didn't call yourself Nick Cannon, but you went by one of your original names from one of your original tribe,
Right.
it's like it's all love. But see, they can't respect that,
They
though.
can't respect
You know
that.
why? Because you represent a man that's woke up.
Right. Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying?
As well as you. So, and that's where I want to dive in here real quick, because there are so many
A masculine
misconceptions
Right.
about who Professor Griff is. There's a lot of
You don't have me crack the book open.
and I want to dig just for a moment, because we've allowed this. You've only been allowed to tell a portion of your story,
Right.
And then obviously we know within the media, they spin it the way that they want to spin it,
Right.
and they look at you as dangerous. They look at you on.
Yeah. Because of what? Because I'm speaking the truth? I'm
Right.
like, wow. So to a degree, I understand people saying the government came after Nipsey. I understand because I lived it.
Right. Right.
For telling the truth, but getting thrown under the bus by the rest of the brothers.
Ultimately,
in
it
the
was the concept.
exactly
Of
the
it was-
idea that wait a minute.
Let me brainwash and desensitize this brother so much that I can turn him against his own that's trying to enlighten.
Exactly. But I'm gonna say this and take it how the people want to take it. There's some people walking around here right now that never thought I'd see this day, and this
Right.
is dangerous for them.
There's some people walking around that never thought I'll be who I am doing what I'm doing. But you see how the universe shift things. You see how the universe brings things around full circle. Okay. All praises to the Most High, Yeshua HaMashiach, the Messiah himself, for me being here. I give glory and honor and praise to him. He's the one who wakes me up every day. He's the one who gives me sight and give me strength. Even when things are going wrong, even when things are just downright bad, I know my Abba Father got me. I know Yeshua HaMashiach has me. I'm protected by the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit. I am Kodeshim. Kodeshim in the Hebrew, set apart ones.
Too dangerous.
You know why? Because wow, Nick doing the damn thing. Yo, Nick this, Nick that. He got the platform, whatever. But Griff,
Right.
like, why are you letting that? He's stop that, man.
Stop that.
You can't find one thing on any program, on or offline, where I disrespect not only Jewish people but gay people. I don't have that conversation like that.
Because you don't have that in your spirit.
It's not in my spirit because it's all love.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you. Like when people say, how do you feel about Jewish people? I love them. That's my football brother. Because I play football with some of them. And we good. We cool. We have fun. We chill. We don't get caught up in all of that foolishness. I don't disrespect one's race, one's religion. I don't come from that.
So how is that message so misconstrued? Because we know why they do it. We know why we know that we seen COINTELPRO. We seen that they believe that we are dangerous when we unite.
But Nick, let me ask you. So let's just be frank and upfront and real. Let's just act like let's act like these cameras are not even on.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me you think they would allow a man like Professor Griff to strive, survive, and be successful in front of young black men not on drugs, not gay? I don't eat swine. I don't eat meat. I'm a vegan. I got a beautiful wife. I'm taking care of my family, blah, blah, blah. You think they want that image to get out?
Okay, so let me ask you this thing. Why?
Hell no, they don't want that image to get out. But guess what? It's already out. Because you have different people that are living that. You have different people that have not sold their soul to the things of this world. You have a large number of black men, black women that have not sold their soul to the things of this world. So it's already getting out. But deep down inside, the other side don't like that. Because that shows a power team. That shows a black household that is structured. They cannot be moved. Vanglorious. This is protected by the red, the black, and the green with the key. Sissy.
Am I allowed to do it? Because I want to be like Griff.
But no,
I look at you and say,
see, but we
he
ain't
came
like
before
though.
me. Right. So, but I'm allowed. I've made a lot of money in this.
Mm-hmm.
I have a large platform as you speak, and I want to give brothers like yourself the opportunity to do it. And that's when they always say, "Oh, we got to protect Nick Cannon." Or it's any minute they coming to get him. Or even if people want to say, "Oh, well, the government gave him lupus." I done seen all of the comments and the craziness and all of that. But I'm allowing myself, or I've been allowed to shine. I've been allowed to spread the light and say, I wear my turban on NBC.
Right, that's
I
bold.
say NBC stands for nigga be careful, and I walk away from tens of millions of dollars and then go create something even bigger and still get to and allowed to stand my ground and have character and have purpose.
All I can say is you're a dangerous man.
That's what Dick Gregory said.
You're a dangerous man.
They coming to get you. But it's only because I stand on the shoulders of brothers like you.
Oh,
I've
give
learned
thanks.
from you.
But how many people actually say that though, Nick? Come on, bro.
But it's the truth.
No, let me tell you something. And the people watching this will know this is rare. People don't invite me to shit. When have you seen me on a documentary film? Never.
Right.
So when they say, well, Mr. G says, yo, Nick want to meet you and blah, 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 and the Dr. Sabi thing and the Nipsey, I'm like, you sure?
Yeah.
Mr. G will tell you, I'm like, yo, you sure? You understand what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, man, dude, it's real. I'm like, all right.
But I was like too much is given, much is required. I was given these opportunities to be, one, because of brothers like you,
Okay.
but then two, because I gotta pass it on to the next.
It's
I'd
called-
be doing a disservice if I came and got the bag, got all the money, and got all the information and kept it to myself.
I talked about it in the book. It's karmic debt.
Right.
We owe
Karmic
one another.
debt.
The karmic debt, and what you're doing is an example of what I'm about, paying it forward.
Right.
You're not gonna run into Harriet Tubman at Whole Foods, bro.
Facts.
So you cannot hit her off with paying her grocery bill, but you can pass it forward to a sister.
Right.
That's the next Harriet Tubman.
Absolutely.
Karmic debt.
It's our duty.
Let's pay it forward.
It's our
man.
privilege.
Exactly.
And that's the only way
Exactly.
we will survive. And that's what I mean. And I feel like I've had the opportunity to sit with brothers like Dick Gregory. You know what I mean? And
I sat with him several
And
times.
he said he passed. Before he transitioned, he's like, he said it. I'm passing it to you.
Yeah.
He's like, now you got to go do what
Right.
I could.
One of the things that I'm always paying homage to is those that came before me. You know, and I had the pleasure of being in the presence of several individuals. Okay? Jim Brown, Reggie White, Greg Townsend, Adam Plant, Christopher Big Black Boykins, Christian Okoye. I had the pleasure of breaking bread with legends that helped me and elevate my game. Dr. Sabi, Michael Allen, Dr. Michael Allen. These are individuals that I had the pleasure of breaking bread with. Even Kevin Samuels, having like 2 conversations with him. But again, the pleasure was amazing. Anthony Bartley, having these individuals a part of my life. Bishop Jarvis Hines. That's my god brother, my spiritual mother, Mama Lakey. Individuals that played a part in my growth, that seen my downfall to here I am now. So I always pay homage and always pay respect. Then as I close, my prayer is that everybody continues to grow, elevate, okay? Do what you do best. Chase your purpose, keep your peace. It's your boy Big Truck, and we gone. One love.